7 phrases that take back your power from a narcissist. When you're dealing with a narcissist, it can feel like you're trapped in a game where the rules keep changing, and they're the only one who knows the score. They'll twist your words, spin your emotions, and somehow convince you that you are the problem. But here's the thing. You can't out-argue a narcissist into fairness, but you can use the right phrases to shift the balance. In this video, we'll go through 7 power-packed phrases that aren't the tired old lines you've heard before. These are subtle, strategic, and designed to quietly flip the script in your favor. 1. I'll consider that. This one is deceptively simple. Narcissists thrive on urgency. They want you to react right now, emotionally, so they can control the tempo. By saying, "I'll consider that," you're not just buying time. You're stripping away their ability to pressure you into a corner. Picture it. They've just lobbed some manipulative opportunity your way, expecting instant compliance. Instead, you say this calmly, maybe even with a small nod, and then nothing. No follow-up, no justifying, no explaining. You've left them in suspense, and narcissists hate that. Suddenly, you're the one holding the clock, and they can feel it. 2. We'll circle back to that later. Narcissists love tangents that derail important conversations and push your boundaries further and further. This phrase is like a verbal bookmark. You're acknowledging what they said without letting it hijack your focus. The trick is in the delivery. Steady voice, no eye roll, no sarcasm, just a simple redirect. Now you're setting the agenda, and they're forced to follow your lead. You've shifted from being their audience to being their moderator. 3. That's one way to see it. If you've ever tried to correct a narcissist's version of events, you know it's like trying to staple Jell-O to a wall. Messy, frustrating, and ultimately pointless. This phrase sidesteps the whole battle. You're not agreeing, you're not disagreeing. You're just gently parking their truth in its own little box. And here's the power move. It tells them you're not entering their emotional wrestling match. You're declaring yourself Switzerland, but in a way that subtly undercuts their authority over your perspective. 4. I'll stick with my decision. Narcissists will test your boundaries like a toddler testing bedtime rules, again and again, just to see if you'll budge. This phrase is a concrete wall they can't climb. You've heard their arguments, their guilt trips, maybe even their theatrics, and you respond with this cool, even line. You're not defending your choice or explaining why, which is exactly why it works. They can only push where there's movement, and you've just shown them there's none. 5. We'll need to keep this on topic. One of a narcissist's favorite tricks is the conversational dodge, shifting the subject to your flaws, past mistakes, or unrelated drama to get you off balance. This phrase is your mental cattle prod. You're calmly bringing the focus back to the issue at hand, like a referee calling the play back to the center. It doesn't invite debate, it doesn't attack, but it does send a clear signal. The days of being dragged into their distraction maze are over. 6. I'm not available for that. Notice the wording. It's not "I can't" or "I don't want to," because both of those leave room for them to push. "I'm not available" is definitive and non-negotiable. Whether they're asking for a favor, your time, or your emotional energy, this phrase is a quiet steel door. It's also wonderfully versatile. You can use it for anything from declining their guilt-laden dinner invites to shutting down a last-minute emergency they've created just to pull you in. The beauty here is you don't owe them an explanation, and you're not giving one. 7. That doesn't work for me. This is the crown jewel of boundary setting because it's both firm and unassailable. It's not an argument. It's not an attack. It's simply a fact about you. They can't logic you out of it because you haven't made it a debate. When you drop this line, you're signaling that your comfort, needs, and limits are valid and non-negotiable without ever raising your voice. It's the verbal equivalent of calmly taking your seat at the head of your own table.